Okay, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I got rid of that infamous clunk going into reverse and drive in my 96 Ford Explorer. And I think a lot of older SUVs probably have similar issues with that transmission mount wearing out. You can see this mount probably needed to be changed 20 years ago. The rubber is collapsed. What we're going to go ahead and do is, with some blocks of wood, we're going to jack from the pan here, and we're going to try to give us just enough clearance to get this out of here. In some of the other videos I've seen with the Ford Rangers, you can drop the cross member from the sides and then access the mount that way, but this one looks a little different. Looks like there would be a lot more bolts to take off, so I just don't think that that's an option here for me. Didn't seem to be on there too crazy tight, honestly. Yeah, so one thing to note is that this mount has a different part number from the two-wheel drives and the four-wheel drive. With the four-wheel drive, because the mount is about a ½ inch more shallow. Alright, so very important that we have wood blocks here while we're doing this. I'm going to aim to lift right on this flat part here where the weight's more evenly distributed. Alright, so now with that, we should be able to get to these two bolts here a little easier and have enough room to slide these up and out. Yeah. There we go. Okay, we got our 19mm socket with 3/8 drive ratchet. Okay, there's our second one. I ordered 2 of these, even though these were both the 2666 part number from Anchor. These are different parts. First of all, the bracket on this isn't even spot welded properly. Not that that really matters because it gets bolted down a lot stronger. This seems to be a lot tougher than this one. I can press this just with my hands here and it just seems a lot weaker overall. Probably use this for now. After struggling to get the new mount into place, I decided to trim a little bit off of the studs to help make it easier to get it into position there. We got a little power inverter hooked up to our truck battery, so hopefully that'll be enough to get this done. Let's do it. Alright, so we got that side cut down a little bit. This nut still slides over it and tightens down. Alright, so now let's get this other one. Even after taking some off the bolt, we're still having a hard time, and I think a lot of this comes down to the difference in design, how this is kind of a square and this one's more beveled off and round. I think that's why we're having issues getting this one to slide in. Barely got it up here. Basically, I cleaned this cross member, all the dirt and grime or anything that could have collected there, and then when I had it wedged like this, one bolt somewhat in and the other one just a little bit out, kind of like that. Put my fingers behind the top here, sort of pushed back on it like this, and got it to go into position there. So after trimming the studs and getting the mount situated, tragically, the hole didn't want to line up on that left side there. So I decided to try and widen out that hole a little bit. And basically just use this old trick with the drill. Go like that for a few minutes and then just try to extend that hole out a little bit. Finally got it in there. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the transmission all the way now. Okay, now we'll go ahead and tighten up these bolts and we should be good to go. And also get these 2 nuts on the bottom here. This time I decided to not put these on at all until I had these top 2 bolts good to go. I couldn't get my socket in there quite yet. Hopefully once I get this tightened a little bit more, we can fit the ratchet in with the socket. But this has kind of worked. So I was able to get the ratchet on there once I got it tightened enough. And then from there, not too bad, just keep on tightening it and get that pretty snug. And same over here, once we got the nut on enough, we can fit the ratchet and socket back in there. And now, I saw a source mention 66 foot-pounds for the upper two bolts and then 72 foot-pounds for the nuts on the lower studs of the mount, but I just made sure to get them pretty tight using the breaker bar because that's all I could fit in there. Now, it's definitely worth mentioning that the second gen Explorer came with multiple different engine and transmission combinations, as well as two-wheel drive versus four-wheel drive. So depending on the model, it very well may be necessary to drop that cross member. I had a very tight fit getting the new mount in there, and also had to trim a little bit off of the stud from the new part. So this is just how I was able to get it done. Nonetheless, I think this video gives you guys a great look at what's going on under here with the mount and just what exactly this job entails. All right, thank you guys for watching this video. Take care.